Welcome back to Crimson Ed Talks. I'm your host, Jamie, CEO and co-founder of Crimson Education, and we're back with Adam, a Harvard grad, a Fulbright Scholar, a BCG grad who's now running his own company, Clipbook, which is incredibly exciting. Today, we're going to deep dive into the Fulbright Scholarship so you can hear more about what exactly it is, what it entails, what you do as a Fulbright Scholar, and how you in the future could potentially become one yourself. So to kick things off, Adam, do you want to tell us a bit about what the Fulbright Scholarship is?
Sure. The Fulbright Scholarship is a wide range of scholarships sponsored by the United States State Department meant to encourage international cooperation. So for Fulbright scholars might do a range of things, everything from teaching English in a foreign country to being hosted by a research institution to something that might be a combination of the two. So it's a big international scholarship program. I was really proud and really excited to have been a scholar myself.
Incredible. And when you went through the process, tell us a bit about the application process, how it works. How does one become a Fulbright Scholar?
Yeah, so there's your senior year of college in the fall. You submit a written application. It includes an essay. It includes a research summary. For me, I applied to the research scholarship. So more specifically, I would be doing research in the home university in India. You apply with the application, the essay about who you are, what you want to do in that country. A committee of reviewers with the Fulbright program will review the scholarship application. They'll look at every detail from your profile to your reason for wanting to do research in that country, the academic soundness of what you wanted to research, as well as, are you a good fit for the country itself? So after they do the offline application, they we'll then do a one-on-one discussion, typically with a professor in the field who's very senior, who will sit down with you for 2 hours and interrogate you about everything about your life, your experiences in college, to what you want to do, kind of play devil's advocate, point out some of the challenges you might have, really sort of interrogate every part of the application. But then, once the interview is done, you'll get an email sometime in April of your senior year, letting you know about the committee's decision. So, and also in parallel with that, you have recommenders that are writing references for you across a range of areas, both about your academic project itself as well as about you as a person. A pretty traditional application in many ways.
Amazing. And you chose India, which is really interesting. What made you choose India? What was distinct about the country that made you excited to go there? Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, I was specifically in Bangalore, and I think two things sort of drove my interest in the country. First, as an Indian American and having spent some time in India, I think I had a lot of personal connection to the country, with some exposure, and I think a personal vested interest in just really experiencing the country a little bit more broadly. So there's that sort of personal reason for myself. But I think second and very importantly, I was studying really large international, multinational companies and their workforce and how their workforce engaged with mental health in the workplace. And Bangalore, I thought, was such an interesting space because Bangalore is an economic engine for the entire country. It is really a case study itself in global development. And I really saw, hey, Bangalore is an interesting place because it is this intersection of international business, of different cultures coming together, running a big international economic hub. So, Bangalore I thought was a really particularly interesting place in particular. So that was it.
And what do Fulbright scholars usually do when they finish their Fulbright scholarship? Do a lot of folks go into PhDs or policy, or what does the career paths look like typically?
They do anything and everything, from going straight into a master's or a PhD program. Sometimes the students will have actually already applied to a job. Let's say you get a job offer from BCG. I'm a BCG alum myself. You get a job offer from BCG in the spring. You get the offer to do the Fulbright Scholarship. You might defer your offer from BCG by a year so that you can do the Fulbright Scholarship and then go to the go take the associate role at BCG. But I mean, for me personally, I went into political campaigns after. I ran a gubernatorial race that was in part inspired by a lot of the work that I got to, a lot of the exposure I had internationally. So, I think a host of different activities and jobs you might take after, you'll find Fulbright scholars really in every walk of life.
And for students thinking about fellowships more generally, what are some of the main fellowships you'd put on a high school student's radar? Today was very ambitious. What are some of the scholarships maybe you thought about, other ones you've heard about? How would you describe that?
Yeah, I think there's a range of big prominent fellowships and scholarships. There's the Rhodes Scholarship, I think, kind of the kind of the top of the pack in terms of competitiveness, and also just sort of historically one of the oldest and most salient. So the Rhodes Scholarship, there's the Marshall Scholarship, the Gates Scholarship, now more recently the Schwartzman Scholarship in China. The Fulbright, I think, to me particularly resonated because of the opportunity to go to India specifically, whereas the Marshall and the Rhodes were a little bit more focused in the UK and Europe. And I don't think the Schwartzman Scholarship existed when I was an undergrad, so it wasn't on my radar. But I think the Fulbright, I think, really resonated me for the opportunity to go to India specifically. But I think also part of the mission of the Fulbright Scholarship was to promote international cooperation and diplomacy. It's a program of the State Department, right? So I think the opportunity to in part represent my country, right, the United States and India, to be a global ambassador, to get to know the diplomatic corps in India, the U.S. ambassador in India, a number of the senior diplomatic staff, I think was a really, really, really interesting opportunity. So for me, Fulbright was kind of the best fit in many ways. But a lot of great scholarship opportunities for other folks.
Incredible and very inspiring. And for our high school students listening, a key thing I'd emphasize is when you get into these top schools, first of all, work hard in high school, obviously, to get into the strongest school possible. At that point, things like your academics, research, references really matter. So many of the same learnings you've picked up in high school really, really continue to apply in college as well. And they lead to these amazing opportunities like Adam's Fulbright. Beautiful, Adam. Thanks for joining us. Amazing stuff.
Thanks, Jamie. Great to see you.